When it comes down to it, you may be one decision away from winning a disc golf tournament. One choice, a call that either wins you a title or makes you the first loser. Sometimes it's just that close. That's how it was at the 2023 Dynamic Discs Open. A constant battle between two players, both of them looking to take down the other. And it came down to a decision. For one player to take the tournament into her hands instead of playing defensive. She made a choice to trust in her game and in her abilities to get the job done. This is how to win a disc golf playoff. Here we go. As the Pro Tour started their Midwest swing, the Dynamic Disc Open would be the first to challenge the top professionals. On the FPO side, players rose and dropped off the leaderboard as the event went on. Kristen Tatar would be chasing down the eventual leaders, Ella Hansen right behind them, trying to get into that top spot. But eventually just two players would remain at the top. Holland Hanley, who for the majority of the final round would be in the lead. At one point, she had a 3-stroke lead with only 7 holes to play. Behind her would be Haley King, the 2021 Dynamic Disc Open winner. After some struggles during the round, King was starting to put it all together on the finishing stretch, just as Hanley was slowing down. We go to hole 16, the island hole, with King down by 1 shot. Up first, she would put it on the island, great shot with a pretty easy look at birdie. Now this is a moment we need to remember for later in the video. As Hanley throws her attempt to get on the island, she would come up short, out of bounds. After missing the drop zone putt, a 2-stroke swing would occur. Now, King was in the lead and in control. Both players would par the 17th, heading to the short par 4, hole 18 with tight OB. King would be first on the tee, her drive rolling into the out of bounds, then back into play, so close to being out. She would be in circle 2 for the eagle chance. Here's Hanley on the tee. She has to make the eagle to force a playoff.
Here she goes.
That looks so good.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Bullseye?
After that shot, the pressure would be on King, run the putt or lay up and go to the playoff. She gave a pretty soft bid, ended up saving the birdie as we head to a playoff. Back to hole 16 we go. So far in the tournament, both players had played this hole 3 times. Hanley had made the island green in rounds 1 and 2, but failed as you just saw in the final round. King had made the island on rounds 2 and 3, so both of them were 2 for 3 on making the island, but as far as momentum, King had it. Now this is where it gets interesting. Coin toss for the playoff would be won by Haley King. She would decide to go first, taking the box and putting the pressure on Hanley, as long as she makes the island, that is. Here is King on the tee for the first playoff hole, island green.
Holland has had some issues. Haley, we just watched her park it. Let's see what happens.
This
No wind.
is a tough playoff hole too. Get off that, get off that, get off that.
Oh my gosh.
Go, go, go. Wow. To just do it literally a couple minutes ago, to do it just now,
Again.
I can't believe it.
Nerves
Oh my
of
gosh,
steel.
she looked
After making it again, back-to-back shots onto the island, the pressure was now all on Hanley. It wasn't that long ago when she was in the same position, with King on the green and her still having to throw the tee shot. Here she is, needs to put it on to continue the playoff.
Hello. Oh, come on. Oh, that looks good.
That looks so good.
Go,
Come on,
go,
push.
go, go.
Push.
Oh my gosh.
That is not what I... That's not what I expected at all.
I thought that.
Almost identical to the shot she threw during regulation. Now technically the playoff wasn't over. Hanley needed to make the drop zone putt and have King miss her short putt. That wouldn't happen though. Hanley misses the jump putt and King taps in the birdie to win the Dynamic Disc Open in spectacular fashion. One decision, to take up the shot first and put the pressure on her opponent. But was it the right call? Did she get lucky, or is this truly the way to win a disc golf playoff? I saw this decision by King to be pretty irregular. Usually you want to be going second in a playoff, so if your opponent throws a bad shot, you can possibly play the hole as safe as you can and still win. That's the thought process for most competitors when it comes to winning. But I wanted to dive deeper into this decision by King. Was it way more thought out than we think? In fact, was it actually the decision Hanley should have made if she had won the coin toss? To find that out, we need to look at the past playoffs by Haley King and also past playoffs on that exact hole. For King, this was her 4th big playoff. And I mean big as in nationally recognized kind of tournament big. 2019, she lost to Vanessa Van Dyken at the Rumble, but no info on exactly how she lost. Fast forward a year to 2020, where at the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, she would contend with Paige Pierce. 2-hole playoff, both players making par on the first hole to tie. The second hole, Paige would be up first on the tee, hitting early and kicking into the woods. King would throw a couple very straight shots, putting herself in the position to win the event. Now for that scenario, she still needed to make a birdie to win the hole, which she did. But knowing Pierce was in a very tough spot after a tee shot was beneficial in the long run to King, an example of how going second in a playoff can benefit you. Just this year, King was already in a playoff at the Jonesboro Open against Cat Mersch. King first on the tee on hole 10, turns it over into the tree line on the right. Mersch throws it safe, left side, lays up for her par. Now, all the pressure's on King to get the up and down.
Oh, exactly what gap she's going
She's
for.
lining up a teeny little gap. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Trouble.
Very high, over the top of the basket, and that's going to be it.
She may have lost the playoff, but possibly that was a learning experience for King. Maybe that set the stage for her to be able to take down the dynamic Disc Open. The final playoff I want to look at is from the 2022 Disc Golf World Championships, with Aaron Gossage and Paul McBeth, who also went to hole 16 at Emporia Country Club. The coin toss didn't give the players a decision if they won it. Instead, if your side of the coin won, it then made it that you would go first. Gossage goes first, unable to make the island green. McBeth steps up there, puts it on the island, wins a world title. This was the most recent playoff on the island green, and it serves as an interesting contrast to the King playoff. But did she make the right call? Already this year, King had been on the losing side of a Disc Golf Pro Tour playoff. Could that have factored into her decision making? For sure. The way I look at it, King's thought process could have been one of two things. First, if she makes the conscious decision that no matter what, I'm going first, she takes away a variable from the playoff. If Hanley wins the coin toss, then chooses King to go first, such as how most playoffs go, then King is mentally already there to go first. Then, if she wins the coin toss, she just sticks with the same decision. Here's scenario 2, which I like a lot better. If you want to create a scenario to completely mess with your opponent, then create the same scenario to give them flashbacks. In regulation, King was the one to go first and put it on the island. Hanley had to watch that. Then she herself threw a shot that came up short, failing to match. If I'm a competitor in this situation, I want to be in as much control as possible. Now, am I doing it by trusting I can put it on the green and letting the pressure go to Hanley? Or do I want to see Hanley go first and possibly be the one to throw the shot to win the tournament? I guess there could be a third option. Maybe King put no thought into it and just went with her gut. Did what she thought felt right and gave her the best chance to win. In the end, whether or not it was maybe the right call, it went down in favor of King, who had the chance to make a decision. Maybe the outcome wouldn't have been the same if she didn't win the coin toss. Maybe Hanley puts on the island and King is the one who fails under the pressure. Regardless, in these kinds of situations, every player feels pressure. Doesn't matter if it's an easy layup shot to win or if it's a huge shot to force a playoff. The pressure is there. And for King, it seemed like she chose to face the pressure first, to execute the shot, then let her opponent try to match it. It was a call that won her a disc golf playoff. When it comes down to it about decisions, whether or not you think it's the right one, it's almost always better to stick with your gut and do what you think gives yourself the best chance to win. For some, that's playing defensive. For some, that's taking initiative and going after that win. We see it now in a lot of professional disc golf. Wins aren't going to come to you anymore. You have to be incredibly aggressive and take them for yourself. That's what King did. I'm curious about your guys' take on the whole scenario. Do you think King made the correct decision, or would you have played it differently? Thanks for watching, as always, and if you want more videos like this, then check out RM Disc Golf on YouTube. Alright, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.